I was exactly breaking news will be and they say a electoral commission. Yes, electoral commission finally waje atum say obeye rerun no obeye rerun of election into no may the document no ebe to screen no so na wo into making kind kakra na yako making kind kakra na yako td or into no say electoral commission in selected polling station in Abdulkumanov because NDC for eka say Abdulkumanov election here ko NPP for the scan copies by na scan copies no munyi ntumi emfa declare Abdulkumanov which is a regular obin seat no then na no mo ko tenase consensus building and NDC for say there be do mo hia ya rerun and say electoral commission je Mensa je atum say Abdulkumanov seat no obeye rerun into no making kind letter no kakra or say as part of its commitment to resolve the impasse regarding to the Abdulkumanov constituency parliamentary election. The Electoral Commission yesterday, Tuesday, 1st July 2025, met the representative of National Democratic Congress and New Patriotic Party. The meeting, which was a follow-up to an earlier meeting held on Thursday, 12 June 2025, provided both letter and tintin date and say electoral commission the Mensa to say Abdulkumanov obey rerun of election. Our fulfill the demand and the promise of NDC everything and admitted letter me no a better so now working can you go to innocent.
What she did yesterday, was rather a woman was subjecting herself for public mockery,
public ridicule.
Yes, because you see, this my culture said this is supposed to be a mature woman, not just a mature woman. Because her age when you
a grandma,
you've been with the judiciary for quite a long while. There has been a number of high-profile decisions where you involve what give her uncle mobi. There has been a number of decisions that what dear tia man farmer a bukra nams wako obi akono meduru obi papa that's a high profile case what di ama man for hwachiromo. None of these individuals and I can deem your ruling injustice. Press conference because Chief Makokota may dear Samatia Mintino may press conference against the Chief Justice or the judiciary. What to be that? And for Chief Justice onim sa nema we nyina na onim say a particular constitutional process has been activated against her and the process is in motion, Alaska, for her to do what she did, I felt so ashamed and so embarrassed. Why was such a grown woman with all the experiences, will betray her innate wisdom and adopt baby's wisdom? Oh yes,
Ivan.
Alaska, she betrayed her innate wisdom as a judge and adopted baby's wisdom.
That
is exactly what she said, and I'll prove it right to you. Alaska, so her name na oye na. Me nim de na opese o achieve. Said must account or maybe to smear the president because and yes sir, there is no sense in it. And Alaska, I have listened to a lot of people doing commentary, but there are crucial aspects people are not touching. The woman, Madam Toko na suspended Chief Justice. Osili in the fate. No, abra press conference.
Osili.
Oh, she's done. She has demonstrated clearly, sir, she's not fit. In terms of character-wise, or no beer, or what the moral, your friend is saying, integrity, the honesty on her part, or you're devoid of all these basic characteristics here to Emma fit to be Chief Justice or demonstrated clearly says she lacks all these things. Then now we'll be saying crime ban or fast or obey Chief Justice. Do we have a criteria be at the heart?
That's right.
Yamanipa proven woman for a judge to be a bit away a judge. A judge there may be knowledge into the law and a bit of credibility. But Alaska, we are talking about the administrative head of Ghana's judiciary. You need to provide extra layer of integrity and hope in terms of character. We are very rich. I'm for me rely on you. One, Alaska, so call your constitution. I don't know if you have that. You can read clearly, say, constitution is say you send the petition the comma precedent. Petition cannot be made public. You can argue say because technology advances, people are doing their research and so bits and pieces of it can fly in the media. But there is nobody who can say something about it. So the actors in question, no, you are banned by the constitution not to disclose any bit of the content of the way in public. The president hasn't done so. And the chief justice isn't supposed to do so. I.e. the other lawyers involved. But Alaska, the administrative head of Ghana's judiciary, the chief justice, atam petition constitutional says should be heard in camera. Being heard in camera, no, it's not about the actors involved.
That's right.
The essence or the spirit behind it, you see, this is a sensitive, high-profile issues. Are very often, the disclosure in the public, can impugn the integrity of the judiciary.
Good.
So very often, the constitutional framers, in their wisdom thought, say, situation like this, we need to do it in camera. I have listened to a lot of people making some arguments. It is fair, say, but this is not the time to be making such argument. Because don't forget, a chief justice for how many years?
From 2023.
And reasonable, you could have envisaged the possibility of such situation popping up. So as one of the remedies now, but me suggesting say, maybe I am a chief justice must scan it through the constitution. Who say this is problematic. So my tenure as a chief justice, I'm going to collaborate with the president just to ensure that we review this particular thing. You are an irresponsible leader, and that is what she demonstrated.
Who the DOB?
The constitution says this disclosure should not be made. Tam petition the kojina you find say in press conference and no read media content in the media. I know the day Sadia na no unconstitutional.
Okay.
And I say you find say committee ya president ati so move your moduma no mo say chief justice edibem and the president and friend back no man adwuma. Anybody can petition the president on this particular disclosure where in the press conference just to make sure say we dismiss her because the chief justice are breaching a constitutional provision. That article now actually say you are not supposed to go public with this. And you see, sadly way I can sit here and comfortably tell you say leakage na enam space ma you say petition no alikino based on what the woman did no you bet me jina so akase onim hu bi na petition no babontin because all that she has been doing is she want to push the entire petition to the public space say ya Ghana for be hu bi.
That's right.
Or the court ama Supreme Court bo assembly to we say enya wunti na constitution say yenye ade na public but it is in the interest of the ordinary Ghanaian no wa bontin no then how they perceive the judiciary. It is not about you as a chief justice.
That's right.
So your wishes cannot override
the constitution.
The constitution and what it guarantees for the ordinary and the average Ghanaian. And yes, you might deem it unfair. Say, I want it to go public, but there is an explicit constitutional provision on it. Me say you don't need any implicit interpretation to understand that provision. It is quite clear. So the processes must be heard in camera. So Alaska, say Chief Justice for petition, na all the Bejina public no ridiculous wabumra no mumra.
Wabumra.
And yet you associate between free hall.
That's right.
Good. Petition I no. Obi betimi atro petition book we ma like newspaper way. Petition kwa. Do you know the propensity I betimi my Chief Justice akọ abonten. So Obi raise 2,000 charges against Chief Justice yenyi na dia. Se ba ko pe yetimi prove a obekofie.
You prove ba ko pra.
Yes,
that's right.
Se Obi ka se mature petition that come president say only Chief Justice in free ho. Na wa throw 2,000 allegations. If we are able to prove just one, enough for you to go home. And it's a would in the petition now. Or no comfortable zone, we have no petition or the abandon discuss it. No, but you need to discuss the entirety.
Because once I was
exactly, because we don't need one or two. We don't need all the petition to be proven right. Just one pet will be enough to send you packing. Alaska, again, Chief Justice say your friend is saying Kwanya President for Mahama Faso was signed a warrant of dismissal on Tiasia. Now President Mahama Abu Muraso Emrana Dahoya say Yafaso no Yamfaso. Now in the process leading to the establishment of the Premier Fasie, ye establishing merit and credence, the President Abu Muraso, and now media for Kesia. You look them in the face and tell them, say, this is an express constitutional provision by which you think that the actions of the president and the chief justice are infringing. The woman as a chief justice could not even mention a single infraction.
Even the article, our constitution,
yes, right. So she was advertising sheer emotions. Makacha said, this is a woman you could see, say, she appeared a bit broken, emotionally fragile. And our adopted baby's wisdom and original man for him and our advertising raw emotions and how lack of character and then how on deep candor said the city here chira man for got some now can you know subjected to critical scrutiny. You could see clearly say sabi when you dear or your judge dear but a dear funny reasoning logic common sense in answer any some no can because you see so we a judge now do a certain level Alaska. You cannot be dabbling in conspiracy theories. And I will say, and as someone say, you are a lawyer, you speak law, you speak to fact. Yes, substantial, you can prove.
That's right.
But if a chief justice can be dabbling in conspiracy theories in the way I say, and I suspect to say in a way, then what will be the ordinary person? The ordinary person better. What are some making? So we achieve justice. So you don't dabble in conspiracy theory because the president says, and I wake up see me. You see issues now, bano. You want and these are the legitimate constitutional issues. I can't want them. And I'll say, petitioners, mother by, you see a friend could be shining star. I'll call Registrar General Crown. You register Alaska. Let me say it quite clear, or a chief justice, but maybe on reading constitution and say, Alaska, offer your constitution, you know. Provision I cassette president ever remove chief justice it is written nowhere say obi is a group petition akoma president it should be a registered group
and I say you registrar general
again there is nowhere I cassette say obi petition akoma president I say if you would deem crown or the can all that the constitution mentioned is receiving a petition. But my catcher say nipa per the details of principles of natural justice, the Kiziwa, you must know your accuser.
Okay.
That is why you're making it say, okay, so we do petition, but we need to identify the person. Now you who say nipa na mpa nipa our petition free no hoeba na assembly drua yetime bisano. But constitutionally, I want anybody to come and challenge this. There is nowhere I can say you must name yourself. But in implementing it, and putting human face on it, yentimi nkasa Alaska obi the petition bra ahoto force yampamo na yenhu nipa kro enya fair to you meboa you need to know who accused you.
That's right.
Is the reason why yakase the person must be known. Now Cecilia your friend say Charlotte say petition no more the pamo no besi ne everywhere people didn't know the petition.
I'm the faceless petitioner.
Besi ne what I say. So that is why you should know say point Nana Mamino making was irrelevant and her as a chief justice should have known better. Again, I say you didn't call Edus Lodge. Now you acquire Sachini baby next time. Omunya kwa even the panties crop on Sachim. Because Alaska she has demonstrated bad faith. Because issues now you see Kodino is not supposed to be public. Already you've gone to court seeking injunction say I didn't make no TV so the probability say you smuggle in gadget to go and record whatever happened there to come and play for whatever way is high.
Right.
So Obi Sachewa, you cannot fault that person who is searching you.
Wow.
What does that make?
That's right.
Because this is a woman fighting the court to say
Emra TV
so and a court to about Wagu. So what is the assurance say ye jaiwa umfa phone in as a phone call record the proceeding for Mabonting? Because and you have demonstrated that by doing a press conference talking about a petition. Into Obi Sachiwa Airborne.
And are restricting this is how they are babble.
Exactly.
Wow.
Again, I say Edus Lodge I bring bad memories. Nana what for deben that is absolute nonsense. That is rubbish.
Oh how?
Alaska. We are talking about somebody Obi accuse you. yes, a committee investigating. You don't determine where you sit. Who cares about your uncle memory? Now, when my man for uncle memory, Hantiomo. The very people called to jail you or Mudu good prison as for. Do you know how people are being handled there? Alaska, who cares about your emotional feelings? 2.3. About na me wafana. So she deliberately caved in the killing of the judges and linked it to the present NDC government just to make people know say omo ba sa na omo tie na omo kun judges some time ago so enya me nwanwa say ne omo tuma se. That was the impact of the message, a coded word and all the share.
Wow.
Who cares about your feeling? It is not about your feeling. I expect that the Chief Justice will contest key issues non-discussing the merit. Yababa Alaska Afi say, why ya my ne Ninuanom judge for no Mote Supreme Court Akumiano sono Obu Bonim tia, making look like say they are just some Niamafumbi, especially right. Justice Ponamai. Justice Ponamai was at the Supreme Court before this lady came in. Or you senior. Bibi na ye bibi ntia and abasene no ho ebe ye your friend say Chief Justice. Bafo Boni has been at the year for very long time. Over two omunyina. Ba oba he no, you were treating them like racks because so he na no a ode ye we no omunipa.
Oh sir.
Oh yes.
Na no keke.
Oh na wu enra no say wadwo. Wu ni poster ne poster utim say why utim say boga ye mere. Because this is a typical arrogant woman who doesn't give a damn about anybody. She thinks that she's sitting on the moon or the sky. Obia should bow down. Who kind of us will address it, Justice Ponamai and other people.
That's right.
And the argument is Justice Ponamai and no Kwatina case involve Daniel Ofori. Now, really no more, you know. Justice Ponamai wrote to right dissenting view. The honor ruling in favor of Daniel Ofori. In the case, Yabasin ko. Enti and Nano, and I'm say Justice Ponamai ruling for Justice Ofori paintino to her no on your fit to sit as a chair of the committee. That is absolutely nonsense. Because Alaska, this is a Chief Justice and an administrative head. You should be able to vouch for the integrity of your core people. So are they telling us that Obi a judge, you know, dear Sama Alaska and you will create a fraternal alliance with you to the sense that Kesi be a media mount. Is that the kind of judiciary she was supervising? Say Obidia Samobia, then you build a family or some kind of a fraternal alliance with the person. Say subsequent issue be and you will be biased. So if the Chief Justice, man, America say and run no expose soon who actually Ghana for say on your fit for purpose. Because Alaska, if the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana cannot guarantee the integrity and the honesty and the fidelity of her own colleagues, oh no, more panel no so. Do you expect here to trust any judge? Chief Justice, or no say, or mobile bias etiano, and she is scared of her own colleagues. And the obi or no tia kurasi and answer or hinibia ote ebia nungwabi or den say some Elko Supreme Court no. You won't die or Henenu to have faith in the judiciary when Chief Justice Lankasano doesn't have faith. Does it make sense?
If you are what you can you mundi.
Alaska, my Mensa can't say me. Afe or sign sorry, I'll say your friend is saying, yes, what to quine. Now, all to quine. Yes, or the Nikunu ne manner na constitution na create allowance say o to quine. Or say or the security. Na security no wasn't mentioned. They hear security nature say odo be back ho na ode na call. Alaska, my can't say we Chief Justice oh no.
That's right.
When you are traveling out there in a private capacity, in a bra we are human state, you know, because don't forget Ghana so no yanso your friend is saying security people are outside. So even in the shadow, just like the CIA have spies everywhere in Ghana, you see Obi. So you can be a Chief Justice, you'll be walking London. Nipa no one nam home or be a security. We have these things in place. But when you are going for your private tensor, they say go with the security. Because we don't stop here to be a Chief Justice. We are Ghana for Chief Justice in as much as we call private way, no. That's
right.
Even though it is private, be to what? I can't Ghana for. because obi betimi akwache wo do akwache baby and they will force you to divulge details secret be any say babonten. I don't know, you hurt the country. It's the reason why they said say who to crime even in your private capacity for security ka wo ho na wona nko you can say security ba kwa na mienu ntime nya hwe but symbolically no a represent bibi na obade betimi aye bibi enti go with somebody on 2 separate occasions ukotwa plane ticket ma wo yere oba on another occasion ukotwa plane ticket ma ukunu etia pedeyam ne nasefo de ma wo mo enya John Mahama na kotro to ho se ye sa ade no aye bone nti obi metro petition the audit service of this country audited you and they wrote a report on it and they flagged that thing. So who will be blame na go and blame the judicial service. And yet John Mahama na kasa why about the audit report is available. They wrote and concluded say Saturday na Chief Justice no ego and the money must be retrieved. One kasa bedi one dance say Sikano Yamabi Kodi you sign the baby. And they sit down with your conscience and how this can be beba. So Obika say young petition Nemrawa Obone or my same. And again, Alaska, Supreme Court and Chief Justice is supervising over no. Okay, Justice Gao is a wine. Yes, I'm a cofana by a was it a Gao? Madam Medina money. You're saying, Gao, your friend saying, sorry, I know your friend's a lawyer for the Speaker of Parliament to raise a papa will minimum no. On I know yet parliamentary candidate for NPP or whole central. So about saying such a high profile issue a political tentacles no our political way no would not better so Chief Justice some financial so on and yet politics no more no constitution.
That's right.
So maybe say say committee no matia or more investigative Chief Justice no a political issue.
No, now
John Mahama papa tisubi. Nema metisubi. And I say don't get it so. Chama say chama for example for Kahobi.
That's right.
So what makes it political? Nipa no mugusu no obi wa political identity. Domlivo a politician. So they na man political way. O yanko judges too so. So I'm saying that the woman should just shut up and face the process. Either you quit because process is no coso. Unyam free mo. So what is the point coming to the public to talk about the things that she said? And again, I'll say nsam no me we fit akaime me. I'll say a man for sending no your friend is saying threat messages and say on resigning na position no is untenable na for Alaska. What it has to say obi send a message say radio ya what is so from Monday going obetena so a ombeku ade na wo ye.
We must go to the police.
So you as an ordinary person himself you threaten wa okọ police who how much boy Chief Justice. Enti catch say enye baby's wisdom no adopt ya. You will not disclose some of these things in public because you know what to do. You can only tell the media say a man for a threaten me. My report to the police, and this is the update on it. If people are threatening you to resign from your position, and your media say, a criminal issue, and I will sympathize with you. Go and report to the CID and any of the investigative bodies for them to take the issue up.
That's right.
So you don't come and add it up and make it look like Obina threatening. And again, I say, Kwanya President Mahama first or more establish a premier fast and no. Omo jampe anyway and I make catch say me too amount for say wunya to me yeah people should come down from the high horses na yama ya dwen enya adwuma Alaska matena ha ka kira a lot say your 1992 constitution you know
outlive
the usefulness. There are several portions of it and who here any linkage to maybe I call in there we are say by. So it is important we look at those essential aspects na ye amend. Alaska ya tina Akroma me catch it say ya ka say establish a premier facia in a case ya submit akwa precedent. The constitution you know any procedural arrangement be or there to say
that's right.
We move from A, we move to B, we move to C. Yes, people can speak to judicial precedent, but judicial precedent you know is not binding on another judge.
Okay,
they can only take inspiration or maybe take a cue from it, but it doesn't bind them
as a reference.
Yes, you can depart from the earlier ruling and set a new precedent. You understand? So say Chief Justice say process now President Mahama fast or the koyaya or the sign warrant man illegal. I'm saying illegal on what basis? Because constitution said the president will receive a petition, forward same to Council of State. Council of State will delve deeper into the issue and report back to the president. This known process in justice there come former Lamte Alaska. The process no obi circumvent know the process ana. And the chief justice in him say sa process no aye an error. Ne a time as a chief justice, she could have caused that particular thing to be regularized in such a way, say, in establishing a premium facie, we need to go through this procedural arrangement. And Sana, yet Miaka say, indeed, there is credit, there is merit. She didn't do any of these things. Now what I didn't have two one do then you are telling people, say, the president aired. I'm telling you, sir, the president never aired anywhere because they laid down procedures now over the years. That is what he did.
I see are politically motivated.
In what sense? In her twisted mind, that is what she thinks. Because I know the day, in Alaska, I will send you the ruling. Supreme Court a ruling on her case.
Okay.
I've been posting episodes on it on Facebook. And I say, who read it? Your friends said the ruling now it will be very interesting.
Wow.
The young judge for I can't say the wishes now or think say that is the law, no, that is not the law. On one the young judges can't say in some okay cannot the personal wishes and emotions and feelings, and she cannot substitute that particular thing for the law.
Wow.
So the mere fact that we judge and no doesn't mean say we wouldn't be our Alaska. That is why your panel.
That's what no mama no why you born into oma born na to ho.
Alaska.
The question say wa na wo do ho aba. No, what I mean is that once we boom rasu for years.
Yeah, for sure.
So afena yedim rano edi.
And what she was doing, as to whether it's lawful or not, it clearly means that to them, no, it was unlawful.
Exactly.
So it's now time for her to face what is the law.
Exactly.
And that is what they are doing.
Good.
So, and I say, when you to me now, baby, treat nipa well.
That's right.
Because